Here is part 2 of our feature film lineup for 2025's Kansas City Film Fest International, which is from March 27th to 30th at AMC Ward Parkway 14. Individual tickets and festival passes are on sale now. Every year we have screenings that sell out, so make sure to get them early at kcfilmfest.org. There's lots of great movies to go through, so let's get started. First up is a narrative feature film that's received rave reviews on the festival circuit, which is called Sheepdog. That's directed by Stephen Graham. It's about a U.S. Army combat veteran who is court-ordered into treatment and care of a VA trauma therapist in training. When his father-in-law, who is also a Vietnam veteran, shows up on his doorstep, having just been released from prison, he learns through tough love and compassion that he must put himself back together in an uplifting story of recovery, redemption, and healing that aims to lift the veil on post-traumatic stress disorder. Next up is My Little Moon, which comes from director Ali Atshani. Based on real-life events, this film follows protests against compulsory hijab and the killing of many girls and boys in Iran by the Iranian regime. On a lighter note is the locally made comedy film Rennie from directors Jessica Dresler and Jen Frank Klinke. Filmed in a mockumentary style at Kansas City's own Renaissance Festival, this movie follows the performers and merchants of a small town's Renaissance fair as they try to raise the money to build onto the town's hydro dam before the town and the festival are washed away by a devastating storm. Now on to our documentary features. The first I'm going to highlight is called Rebel with a Clause. That's directed by Brant Johnson. It stars grammar guru Ellen Joven as she takes her pop-up grammar advice stand on a road trip across all 50 states to show that comma fights can bring us closer together in a divided time. Meanwhile, Bring Them Home comes from the directing team Ivan McDonald, Ivy McDonald, and Daniel Glick. This documentary feature tells the story of a small group of Blackfoot people and their mission to establish the first wild buffalo herd on their ancestral territory since the species near extinction a century ago. It's an act that would restore the land, re-enliven the traditional culture, and bring much-needed healing to their community. On to a film that highlights some local history. The Foot, A Community Remembered, from director Gary Francis Quigg, explores the legacy of the historic African-American neighborhood in Jefferson City, Missouri, known as The Foot. This neighborhood was the heart of the Black business and residential community from the early 1900s until the 1960s, when highway construction and urban renewal efforts brought about its demise. Featuring memories from its former residents, this film helps preserve a culturally significant landscape now lost in time. And finally, Bar comes from director Don Hardy. This documentary follows 70 students who descend onto the Culinary Institute of America in New York to participate in the world's premier education program on distilled spirits and mixology. Throughout the week, the students learn from the world's leading cocktail and spirit experts and undergo rigorous testing in hopes of joining the ranks of the best of the best. So that does it for now. I've covered many films so far, but there's still more to go. So stay tuned to KC Film Fest on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook as we get closer to this year's film festival, and I highlight even more of what you can expect, including our remaining feature films, as well as our panels and events. See you at the fest!